Taurus, I'm Lou from Empress Blue. Welcome to your May 2023 reading. I just want to begin as I prepare your cards by talking to you a little bit about the astrology this month, because we have a massive month of cosmic energy and astrological weather. Now this is a continuation of what began in April, or didn't begin in April, but what started to build in April. It is your season. Happy birthday, or happy astrological new year if you're watching for your rising sign. And so this is the season where we bring everything back to you. Now this isn't a new storyline for you, Taurus. This has been going on for a long time, and there is so much activity happening in your first house, so in your sign. Particularly this month in May. Now, what's been happening? So there's a bit of a storyline here. So let's start from the beginning. In 2018, Uranus moved into your sign, your first house, and began this journey that it will continue until 2026. Now, that has been revolutionizing all things related to you. So what this is all about, as I'm moving through this reading, what you need to keep in mind, this is all about your character, your personality, and your identity. So what you're identifying with. Uranus is revolutionizing your identity. It's demanding that you shake up and rebuild and do a massive overhaul of who you are and what you identify with. So looking at things such as, like I'm a parent, so you're identifying with being a parent, or I'm a, if your occupation, if you're a doctor, I'm a doctor. That I am this. I am. What are you? That's what this house is all about. It can also be the house of your physical body. So you've probably had a lot going on with your physical body as well for a long time. We've had the North Node there in that first house as well since January 2021, so for the last 18 months. That will move out in July this year, but still really heavily influencing what's happening now in May. And we've also had an eclipse cycle that's been happening here for you, and we have one of those eclipses this month happening on May the 6th in Scorpio. Now that is in your opposite sign, and it's shining a spotlight on all things you. It's influencing the people that you connect with, coming from the people you connect with, and highlighting who you are as a person, and how you relate with these people. Now, that eclipse cycle has been going for 18 months as well. And so this is a long journey. Now, this eclipse that we're having this month will be the second last eclipse in this cycle. So this is wrapping up that storyline, the eclipse storyline. So this is talking about what's happening on an emotional level. We have the Eight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this is about looking for what emotional needs have been missing for you, and identifying those emotional needs that have been missing and starting to meet those needs. Ace of Cups underneath that. So starting to meet those emotional needs. There's been a long emotional journey that you have gone on. This hasn't just been emotional. This has been physical, mental. It's been the whole works. Because also what we have is a Mercury retrograde, which began on April the 21st, and it will go for the first 2 weeks of May, moving direct on May the 15th. But we'll have that post shadow phase happening. So for the whole of May, you'll be under that Mercury retrograde energy, being retrograde in your first house. This is about your thoughts and your feelings, your thoughts and your inner dialogue, your inner your self-talk around who you are, what you identify with. Now this can be when we're looking at the lower end of the scale. You can say things to yourself and about yourself, communicating to yourself, to the world, to other people, to the universe, that you're a failure, that you're not good enough, that you're, those kind of talks. That's identifying with being a failure. And when you identify with being a failure, that becomes part of who you are, and you just continue to create more situations that provide you the opportunity to reinforce the fact that you're a failure, if that makes sense. Or on the higher end of the scale, it can be I'm a successful person, I overcome challenges. It's those things that you identify with, but it's also what you identify with on the external world as well. I'm a mother, I'm a doctor, we already talked about that. So Mercury is coming in to transform, slow down those thoughts and help you to identify them. We're coming into this reading with the Four of Swords. So you have a lot of time here to slow down, particularly at the beginning of the month, and identify what you're identifying with in your thought habits, and choose. Two of Swords, choose. This devil here that's showing that the toxicity, that what I was just talking about with identifying, it might not be that you're a failure. It's going to be different for everybody. So this is about doing that personal work, doing that inner growth, finding your authentic self, what's unique to you, and what's been holding you back from being authentic. What's been holding you back from developing into this new character. So what the astrology is doing is really trying to revolutionize. You're doing a complete overhaul of who you are, and you've been doing this for a while, and it will continue for a while longer too. And you're literally building yourself from the ground up, and part of that is removing what's keeping you trapped from the growth into this new person. There's an old part of yourself that needs to not be removed, but just be integrated into this newness, into this new character that's coming through. And as a part of that, you need to explore those toxicities that are keeping you from being that person. So this isn't just about what you identify with, but it's also about what do you want to identify with? What do you want when you look at yourself? What do you want to be able to say about yourself? I am this person, I am this way, I am. And being able to shed whatever's holding you back from being that. It simply is a decision, Two of Swords, that you need to make for yourself. And then as you make that decision, then you need to align with it, Ace of Swords. You need to be clear. This is about clear communication. And Mercury is the planet of communication. So in the first half of May, communication with Mercury retrograde can become distorted. But what I'm seeing with the cards that you have here for you, this is about clarity. So the Mercury retrograde could bring you a lot of clarity. And having that in your own house means that you have that like oomph behind you, where the words that you speak will be taken very seriously. The words that you speak, people are really listening to you right now, Taurus. And because they're very interested, you've got the Page of Swords here. This is learning. You're learning and you're curious and you're learning new ways. Now this could be learning about yourself or learning about a new part of something that you're identifying with. So it could be that you're building yourself like in ways like a new career, or if you just became a new time parent, or it's like they're new identities that you're bringing in, and you're having to learn, and you're being provided with the opportunity in your environment to learn a lot about this new identity that you're bringing through, and bringing clarity around anything that's been confusing you for a while. Now we have the King of Cups here as well, and I feel like this card is representing you as the person that you are in this reading, and you have flow, and that's a beautiful energy to be coming through with. Okay, so this is this is someone who's very emotionally stable and who's emotionally regulated, who's able to regulate their emotions and utilize those emotions for the purpose that they're meant for, as the guidance and the wisdom that they're there for. And it's beautiful that it's coming out with all these swords as well. So this is this head and heart combining to manifest a reality, Two of Wands, that is this new, that matches this new identity that you're bringing through. And I think throughout May that the emotional balance that you will be coming through with salvation, it will be very beneficial for you, because you do have a vision. Two of Wands, you have a vision for your future, and this isn't just something that has just happened. It's something that you've been working on for a long time. And as you move towards that vision and you align your head and you align your heart, the spiritual, we've got this being clarified by the Ace of Wands, the spiritual progression of this vision will just flow into your reality. It will just flow as you work with the energies of creating this new identity for yourself. That makes sense. And what I'm seeing with the Justice card here, this is about walking your truth, and we've got it clarified by the Ace of Swords and by the Sun here. And what I'm seeing is, when you adapt and shift into this new identity, into a new person, and start to really develop your character, it takes a lot of courage to be that person. So it's like, for example, you identify, I want to change this part of myself, and I want to be more like this. I want to be, kinder or more, or somebody who maintains healthy boundaries. Let's say that, use that as an example. I want to be someone who maintains healthy boundaries. Maybe in the past you've been walked all over, and now that you want to identify your character as somebody who holds healthy boundaries, meaning somebody who respects others' boundaries and creates a boundary that must be respected by others in return. Now, that requires, especially in this infancy stage where you're still developing your character to be like that person, it requires you to walk that talk, to maintain a healthy boundaries even in the hardest moments, to do that in real time. And as you do that, you're aligning with your truth, because that's your truth. You've decided that's your truth. That's who you are. And as you do that in real time, that's when you really cement and integrate this new character, this new identity into your state of being, and it becomes who you really are. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes. But at first, it is a challenge. So whilst this person that you're evolving into, spiritual leader, is in that infancy stage, it's important that you maintain your balance and maintain alignment with it, and in a deliberate way. Master of Miracles, blue-banded bumblebee, blue-banded bee. Master of Miracles, incredible. Let's talk about that for a minute, because what's happening on May the 17th is Jupiter will be moving into your sign, which is such an exciting thing to happen, Taurus. So Jupiter will move in on May the 17th and will stay with you until May next year. So you have 12 months of Jupiter energy. When Jupiter's in your first house, you really embody the energy of Jupiter. Jupiter being this master of miracles. Jupiter brings blessings into our life. Jupiter brings solutions, and when we embody that energy, everybody loves a Jupiter person. Everybody loves them because they're so jolly and they're so full of life, and they're so generous, and they're giving, and they're always happy to be around, and they're always happy to help, and they create miracles. Jupiter literally creates miracles. And so this is what's happening for you when Jupiter moves in at the end of the month. That cycle begins, and things are really positive at the end of the month. Look, we've got the Ace of Wands and the Sun with this Master of Miracles. I think that you'll be really stepping into yourself this month. Then we've got the Spiritual Leader here and Salvation card as well. I think that you'll be stepping into this new identity so strongly this month. And like I said, you've been working on this for a long time, but this month is when it starts to really take shape. It starts to really take form, and you can integrate that and walk that in real time. And that's you becoming this leader. This leader, people are going to be looking at you, Taurus, and A lot of people won't recognize you because you've changed so much, you've shifted so much, and you will continue to shift a lot. People might not recognize you, and but you'll be an inspiration. You'll be an inspiration for a lot of people, especially while Jupiter's there. People will be looking to you for wisdom. Jupiter being the planet of wisdom as well. It's like what you've been through now, you are now stepping into that state where everything you've been through you've created a set of knowledge and wisdom around, and you can now share that with others and help others to move through similar situations if they're going through similar situations. And so we've got the Seven of Cups as well, and that's telling me that there's a lot of options. And I think, Seven of Cups can often signify that there is confusion, but you've got the Ace of Swords up here, which I feel very strongly connected to right now as I'm reading these cards. So I think this is just about clarifying through the options that you have. You just have so many miracles appearing in your life, and so much is flowing in. You've got the flow card, and you know what you want to line up with, and that's this walking your truth that I was talking about. Only lining up with what is your truth. And when you see other things that aren't your truth, not falling into the trap of trying to take on too much or going backwards. This is in this line here with the Devil and the King of Cups. Possibly as you go through the month, there'll be situations that come up that match the old identity that's being shared, the Devil. And you'll have the opportunity to say, I'm not choosing that anymore for myself. I'm choosing this new identity. I'm going to line up with this new way of being. And that's that King of Cups. That's how he's he's the master of that. He's so powerful in that. And he's so gentle in his power. That power is just purely that boundary of, I'm not choosing that anymore. That's not for me. This is for me, and I'm choosing that in real time and walking in alignment with that. And we've got the Sun, which is just this optimistic, this really bright future that is coming in for you, and that is that Jupiter moving in. So for 12 months, things will just, when you have Jupiter in your sign, things just click into place easily. There's solutions to all your problems. You have easily access to resources. It's like you literally the universe always has your back, but it's a lot more obvious when Jupiter's there with you. Let's get some clarifying cards for the Four of Swords. I really like the Four of Swords with the King of Cups here, because it means that you are, and the flow card as well, it means that you are easing into this. You're not pushing forward, and that's such a beautiful place to be, Taurus, especially with that Mercury retrograde, to just easily tread through it all. There's a lot going on. It could feel really intense, but I don't think for you, I don't think it is, because you're just letting it happen. You're letting it be. We've got the Ten of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the World. Yeah, so you're literally putting down those heavy wands, you're literally releasing and letting go of all of that burden that's come from the past, that's come from carrying an identity that wasn't true to who you were. This overhaul is about shedding an identity that you've created in the past. It's protected you, it's kept you safe, it's been who you are, who you've needed to be, and now that identity has reached its expiry date and it no longer serves its purpose, and that's why the universe is now calling you to align with an identity that's more authentic, that's more in alignment with who you really are, with your inner being. And part of that is laying down those heavy burdens that you've been carrying, that is laying down that old identity. So there's a part of what you'll be doing this month, and with the Empress, it's literally moving into that state of being, like I said, of just being easy easy in this. It's not that you have to fight any inner demons, the devil and the, you know, these nine of wands. You don't have to fight them. You just lay them down. That felt so beautiful for me to say. I hope that resonated with you, because that was the message that you needed to hear this month. You don't need to fight this. You just need to lay down what doesn't serve you, what's no longer helpful. So you don't need to try and align with any of this. It will just, is a natural consequence of laying down the old identity. It will just naturally come out as you do that. It will just flow out of you, because it is who you really are. It is authentic, and that's why it will just flow naturally out of you as you let go of the identity that wasn't who you are. Clarifying this Page of Swords over here. Got the Nine of Swords, the Ace of, let me get a little bug. The Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Wow. Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ace of Swords here as well. I mean, the environment, I feel like the environment is showing you where this old identity is, where you're still holding on to it, by showing you through your fears. You'll see that through fear when you start to engage in situations. If you feel any fear or anxiety or stress or upset or hurt or defeat, that's your indication. That's your inner being speaking to you and telling you that's the bit that needs to go. That's what's no longer serving you. So that will be where you'll gain clarity, especially with that Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde is going to be so effective for you, Taurus, in your first house, influencing all of who you are, every part of you, your mind, body, soul, you know. Yeah, when you're in fear, that's when you're engaging with this old identity. And when you're feeling bliss and joy and optimism, that's when you're engaging with your authentic identity. And that's how you'll know. That's the indicators that you can look for throughout May and throughout your whole life, really. But you're just being reminded that through May, as you engage in that kind of work, as well as you learn that's the King of Cups right there. That's what he's so good at is looking, when he is realizing, when he feels like these Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords feelings, that anxiety and fear. He knows. He doesn't attach them. He doesn't identify with those emotions. Ooh, there's a powerful statement for you, Taurus. Identifying with emotions as well. So the King of Cups, let me talk about this for a minute. He understands that emotions are a feedback system. They're like a guidance system. They're the way that our soul and our body speaks to us to tell us how in and out of alignment we are. Okay, so when we feel negative emotions, that's a indication that we are out of alignment. And when we feel positive emotions, that's an indication that we're in alignment. That's the basic nutshell of it all. The King of Cups understands that. So he doesn't identify with emotions. It's like, you know, sometimes when you can become really depressed and then you're like, I am depressed. That's identifying with that emotion. And then it becomes a part of who you are. There's a lot of depressed people who depression is just a part of who they are. The King of Cups understands that that's not who you are. You're not your emotions. You aren't those emotions. Okay, so if you are someone who suffers from an anxiety disorder, or, you know, or depression, or if you have a recurring emotion that's your baseline emotion, this is the month really to look at that and to from a detached perspective, and realize that's not who I am. That's just feedback telling me about that I have a repetitive thought. I have a reoccurring thought that's bringing that emotion. And the thing about it, when we identify with an emotion, and when we identify, when we make that who we are, the law of attraction like jumps onto that, and it just brings you more and more and more and more and more, and that the momentum builds. That's why I was saying before about this being so important, that you stay true to who you are. You need to what I was talking about before about walking your truth in real time, and how it will take deliberate focus for a while, is because this has so much momentum. this old way of being, this old toxic, not toxic, but this old identity, it has so much momentum. So to break that momentum and shift into this new way of being, it takes time for the momentum to build and then the universe to respond. So if you're not seeing responses in May, know that the momentum is building, because you've got the Sun and you've got the Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands. It's all there. It is building. It's just that it's all flowing. It's just the momentum isn't strong enough yet. So stay true to it, realizing that you can choose not to feel this way by choosing your thoughts and choosing what you're engaging with. And then as you do that, you build the momentum towards choosing thoughts that do influence you in the way that you want to identify yourself in the future, if that makes sense, hopefully. So let's get some cards to see what the environment is mirroring to you this month, Taurus. We have silence. Spiritual warrior here with the spiritual leader. And we have passion. When I pulled out that spiritual warrior one, I heard crusade. That was the word I heard. And I think that you're on a crusade right now, and that's why all this energy is in your first house, and that will continue. Like I said, that's going to continue at least for the next 12 months, but Uranus will be there till 2026. So you're a champion that's bringing in this new paradigm. You know, there's a new level of ascension coming in, especially in May. All the readings I've done for this month are showing that everybody's ascending. They're ascending, and you're the one that's leading the way. You're shining the light on and being that beacon that everybody else can move towards. So remembering that this quest that you're on, this crusade that you're on, it is for you, because this is your first house, it's all about you, but it's going to have such a strong impact on everybody around you as well, and the collective and the universe as a whole. So stay true to it. And with the silence card, I love that over here with the Ten of Swords. So as you drop into that easy contemplation, Ten of Swords can be the card of meditation, which would be very good for you right now with Mercury retrograde in your first house. And as you drop into that silence and that ease, the universe will start to reflect that back to you. So that's a way, as I was saying to you before, about the momentum being really strong and needing to shift the momentum, and that taking a while. It will be quicker if you drop into silence. It's going to be quicker to do it through meditation and silence than it will be to do it through trying to be deliberate with your thoughts and your emotions, you know, and force. What I was saying before about ease is going to get you way further than trying to force this progression. And then you've got the passion card as well, which I think is about, you know, and I love that with the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands, because this is about your passions. This is about who you are and what lights you up, what sparks you authentically. So this is about what you want for yourself, not what other people want for you, not what society wants for you. This is all about you. So such a big month for you, Taurus, and I'm in awe of you, and I'm really proud of you for what you're going through and being that leader that you are, and how well you're flowing through this situation, and through this dismantling of one persona and easing into a larger, more expansive version of yourself. It's really beautiful, and it's beautiful to watch. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this creative journey for you, and have a beautiful May, and I look forward to seeing you again in June. Thank you.